Hey everyone, welcome back to Eye in the Time. Today we're taking a look at the British micro brand called AVI-8. I say British, they're made in China as far as I know, but based in Great Britain. And AVI-8 has a lot of really cool aviation inspired designs, as the name might suggest. And I've always been a fan of their designs. They're really, really cool. The problem for me has always been the specs to dollar ratio has never been quite right. That's prevented me from buying their watches mostly. I've bought a couple in the past year. One I've bought and sold, it's long gone. The other one is the one we're looking at today, and it's the more expensive of the two, and it's the one that I've had the longest. I also featured it on my cool watches under $1,000 video, and there's a lot to like about it and some things to not like about it. So let's see if it's worth spending the money for that extra design. All right, first of all, I want to go over the packaging for the AVI-8 Hawker Harrier HUD because the overall presentation is very nice. This nice 8 on top kind of looks like an 8-ball, kind of is just like reminiscent of a marker you'd see on World War II aircraft. Speaking of which, here on the side you have sort of a diagram of a World War II aircraft. I'm assuming this is the Hawker Harrier, given that this is the Hawker Harrier HUD. I'm assuming that's what it will be. So that's very cool right away. Zoom in on it a little bit. It's very cool to see that. And it continues to be pretty nice once you open it up too. Again, you have that 8 marker. And this is like a nice canvas covered, like thick cardboard. So very nice container. And I love that you have this awesome sort of dark red AVI-8 stitching on the inside top. That's super cool. Absolutely love that. And then some foam to go in there to protect the watch, which is right here. This is the AVI-8 Hawker Harrier HUD, automatic, and gradient green. Excuse my voice cracks today. As you can see, very cool watch, very different kind of dial. Actually has some printing on the glass. Actually has some printing on the glass, give it that 3D heads-up display look to it. That's why it's called the HUD, because it mimics a heads-up display. Let me give it a quick polish. Maybe that's a little better. But as you can see, it really does appear to float above the rest of the dial there. Super cool. And everything, all the font is a digital type font. Very nice. The white hands are very, very well done, as well as the white markers. I love that the back of the second exam has that little notch, that arrow-shaped notch in the back. Very cool. And you better believe this thing is a Lume monster, which we will get into. But I love that both of these crowns are like turbine shaped. Very nicely done. These are pull-out crowns. One is for the inner chapter ring, and one is for setting the watch and doing the date and all that. So the bottom one is for setting the watch and doing the date, and works as you'd imagine it would. The top one one is actually not a pull-out crown as I thought it was. It just turns and it does that chapter ring on the inside. So very simple, easy to use, cool little watch. And what I really love about this watch is on the back. By the way, you can see that gunmetal sort of color all over the case. And just look at this turbine design on the back there with that 8 marker in the middle. Screw down case back. Awesome, awesome turbine design on the back. Absolutely love that. Incredibly beautiful. It's designed to mimic a propeller in this case. Just super cool, and one of the things that really drew me to this watch on top of many things. As you can see, the bracelet has the quick release spring bars. This is a strap, I guess, instead of a bracelet. And you might be wondering about the collar on that strap. Yes, that is loomed. We will get to that. Back to the box for a quick second. Inside comes with warranty card and instruction manual. Pretty easy to, simple. We'll put this to the side for now. And let's get into the specs on this baby. And so this comes in at 44 millimeters on the case size. The case thickness is 15 millimeters. And you do feel that on their wrist. You really do. I haven't worn this too much on the wrist, but you do feel that. It is kind of top heavy. The case thickness, as I said, is 15 millimeters. The lug to lug is 52 millimeters. It is a 22 millimeter lug width. Go ahead and we will throw it on the wrist here. It is at least a very comfortable strap. When I have worn it, I have had no complaints about the strap. It's mostly just, it feels top heavy, like, big and chunky. Because it is kind of big and chunky on the wrist. But it does look good on the wrist. Back it out a bit. But as you can see, it looks big and chunky, and it feels big and chunky, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, because it feels weighty and substantial, not just, ungangly. Now, the indexes are applied, and they have Swiss New Light, as well as the hands. It uses a mineral lens, not sapphire. It has only 50 meters of water resistance, which is kind of weak. The weight is actually 180 grams. Comes with a 2-year international warranty. And yeah, it's made of stainless steel and comes with a Japanese automatic movement, which for the life of me, I've tried to find out which movement they use, and I just can't. I would assume, I'm not even going to say what I would assume it would be, because I don't know. It just says Japanese automatic movement. I haven't had any issues with it in the year roughly that I've owned it, but I haven't worn it too much either, because I've been, trying to keep my watches nice. The ones that aren't in the rotation that often. But overall, it feels pretty well made, and I paid $260 for this. The original price was $380, I believe, or $360. One of those two. But I paid $260 on Amazon, and for such a cool looking watch, I think it's worth $260. But we'll talk about that more. So I haven't had any problems with this watch in the time that I've owned it, and it's been very comfortable to wear. And when I have worn it out, I've gotten some compliments on it. People love the color scheme and just the general look of it. Some people have noticed the kind of HUD look to it, but mostly that goes unnoticed. And it's partly just because people don't really pay attention to watches anymore. But when people have noticed, it's been pretty cool. They've been pretty enthusiastic and asked what it is. So I don't think there's too much more to show you guys about this watch. Honestly, just a pretty quick overview. The only thing left to show you is the crazy Lume on this. So let's go ahead and cut the lights and we will show you the crazy Lume. And so here we go, lighten it up. And as I told you, the strap is luminous as well. So we will give this thing a really good hit. Get it all nice and shined up. And unfortunately, it's not coming through too well on the camera. There you go. You can kind of see. This thing absolutely just glows like crazy in person. And there you can get a really good idea when I first take it away. It gives you a good idea on camera of what it actually looks like in person. And actually, what I'm going to do is grab my phone, record some video on the phone as well. So this is the AVI-8 Hawker Harrier HUD Lume on the phone camera. As you can see, it looks much better than on the main camera. Super, super cool. And yes, when I wear this out in person at night, I do take this light so that I can light it up constantly just for fun of it. Because look at that baby glow. How could you not? So that was a look at the AVI-8, guys, the Hawker Harrier HUD and the gradient green. It also comes in an orange and a blue, which both look super cool as well. I would love it if I had all three of them together to compare side by side, but unfortunately, I don't. Um, Now we have to talk about the negatives of AV-8. So, one, I would love if this was sapphire glass instead of mineral, but I can live with that. And really, the complaints that I have with AV-8 are more about the perception around the brand, and overall, it's a very negative. And I'm not entirely sure why that is. Maybe there's something more to it that I don't know, but even in the official like AV-8 Facebook group, uh, I could not resell these watches. They are very hard to resell. The like, I do not know why nobody wants to buy them. So buy them used if you see them come up and you're interested in buying one. That would be my first piece of advice. Be sure you're comfortable saying goodbye to that money. And yeah, um, don't expect to get your money back or to ever have these be an investment piece, even limited edition like ones. That will be my advice based on my experience because I had to put both of these up for auction. The other one that I had and the one that we're taking a look at now, it's currently up for auction as I'm filming this. And it's not looking good. I'm looking to take a pretty big L. So there's quite the negative perception around the brand. AV-8 has been my experience, and would I recommend buying them based on like resale value? Absolutely not. Not a chance. Would I recommend buying them because the designs are cool and you like them? Yeah, if you can buy them used and in good condition. I would not pay retail. I would not even pay like off retail like I did for this one, which was retail was like 360, 380 on AVI's website, and Amazon had this for 260 brand new. I picked it up for 260. I would not do that again ever. I would say maybe 200 if you could find it tops, because you're not going to get that money back. That's my experience. And that's really the big negative I have, because everything else about this watch has been fantastic. The wearing experience has been good, even though it's big, it's heavy, it's kind of top heavy. It's nothing that is unbearable at all. And the design is top notch. It just is absolutely cool as hell. Really, the only thing that lets it down is the negative brand perception and the fact that nobody wants to buy these. So I'm not sure what it is. Maybe there's something else going on behind the scenes, like I said, that I don't know about that impacts their perception. But yeah, that's my only real complaint with this watch that I have. Now, the other AV-8 that I had, it was the Hawker Hunter retrograde chronograph, and it was a quartz movement. Um, I guess some transparency, like they do just say Japanese automatic movement and Japanese quartz movement. It would be nice if they were transparent on, okay, are they like Miata 8000 series, or like what are they? Be more specific about the movements, maybe up the water resistance a little bit, give us sapphire glass or sapphire coated mineral glass or something like that. You know, um, Especially on this one, if you're asking almost $400. Yeah, the design and everything's awesome, but I think it should have sapphire glass. That would be one complaint, I guess. Um, but at a lower price point, I could definitely live with mineral glass on this. But so the spec to dollar ratio, I guess, still is a negative. And the main reason to buy AV-8 after owning them would still be that they are cool designs. Definitely, yeah, don't be looking to make money or get your money back out of them. I guess that kind of sums it up. Let me know what you guys think about AV-8 in the comments down below. Do you have any? What's your favorite, if you have any? And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, keep an eye on the time.